Disclaimer: we are not professionals. The things we read are sent to us by our listeners or stories we have found on the internet that we want to discuss. Nothing we say should be construed as professional advice, diagnosis, or the like. Also, we don't take ourselves too seriously, so you shouldn't either. This is a series for the grown-ups that never had a safe place to ask the intimate questions we all had as adolescents. For many of us, because of societal norms, religious pressure, and patriarchal shame built into our upbringing, we never let ourselves explore our sexual side. This is for us to vent, laugh, learn, ask, and communicate.
Hi, dear sinners. Welcome to episode 1 of hashtag Dear Sinners. Hello, dear sinners. Or should we make this more
Hello.
like hello, dear sinners, like an ASMR?
This is just not a good angle for ASMR.
You just have to open your mouth. It's happening. The
Hello.
new generation of this podcast, the new segment, the new era. This is a new segment that we wanted to create because we are a podcast about sexual liberation, about women, about periods, menstruations, women things, life, sex in general. So this is a segment that I really had in mind since the beginning because I wanted to talk about books because honestly books are like 90% of my life. Sorry, my cats are fighting right now because they just know what I'm gonna record. But that's it. I thought about this since the beginning because I wanted to talk about everything. Like books are like 90, 80, 85% of my life. Honestly. Like I'm not lying. But the other percentage is 15. Yeah. 15, 20. It's just everything. And I want to talk about everything ish for women. So that's why we're here, Rashay. I want to know, what do you think about this segment?
I love it because it gives us an opportunity to do all that, and it gives us an opportunity to interact more with our listeners. So, I mean, the whole reason we started this is because we just wanted more people to talk about this shit with. And so, here's the best way for us to do it.
This is a segment from us to you because we think you deserve it. And honestly, we just want to talk shit. And this is a perfect moment for it. But at the same time, we wanted to connect with you guys, sinners, beautiful human beings, through these conversations. Because when we talk on the podcast, on the Come With Us podcast, we love it. It's great. We talk about books, we talk about many subjects that go around those books. But on this segment and this type of episodes, we want to do something more personal, more like from us to you. And this is what it is. And yeah, this is what we're doing right now. And every time that we do this segment is going to be because we have received emails from you with amazing stories, or we just saw something on Reddit, TikTok, or whatever that we just need to talk about it. Like today's subject, because they're spicy and
Oh,
controversial.
yeah. A little bit.
Right now, I don't have the fancy lights like Rashay. We love it. Yes or no that she looks like an OnlyFans type of girly, like a professional OnlyFans. Yes or no? We freaking love it. But
Just taking a poll. Would people pay me to say mean things to them?
say yes so we can make money. Thank you very much.
Just let me know. I can set up an account so fast.
Going back because we digress. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Let's do this.
So this first email that we got was from somebody named Josh, and he had a question for us. Essentially, he and his girlfriend slash fiance slash future wife had some, they were requesting some assistance. They're both in their 20s and they live in the UK. And his partner has a affinity for belly buttons and tummies and, you know, just the whole core, right? Just in and around the belly button, okay? So he says that his belly button sticks out a tiny bit. It's a tiny bit of an outie, okay? Not an innie, all right? That's fine. That's cool. and he doesn't know, like he's confused. He's never really thought anything of it. It's never really been a sexual thing until this lady. So he wants to know what are some ways that they can integrate belly button play and tummy play into their sex lives. And he says, I want to know the best ways and things I can do to and with her with my belly button.
My question is, who has the fetish? Is it him or is it her?
She does.
She's the one with the fetish.
Apparently. That is
Yes.
what he says, yes. We don't kink shame. We
No.
don't yuck other people's yums. And you know what? I've heard of weirder shit. I don't see how people think tickling is kinky, and yet there's a whole subgenre on Reddit and Pornhub that's just
Dude, for
tickle
real.
play. I don't
Like, tickle me and I will punch you.
like listen, if you tickle me, you're getting a foot in your face. I'm belligerent. I
And
don't
no
see how people
apologies.
No, you should not have tried to tickle me. I don't understand. So, and that's the thing is, like, that's how I look at this. I'm like, I don't understand how people can find tickling to be erotic. But, and yet here they are existing. So I'm not doubting the fact that this exists. Clearly it exists. I'm not making them feel bad. I have a hard time putting myself in that mindset. But you know what? I think that we should just take the elephant out of the room, essentially. Why make it so weird? Just make it a
Totally,
normal
yeah.
thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
How can that? First of all, I love the fact that he's not even like, this is weird to me. I hate it. I feel uncomfortable. No, he's like, I just want to know how to incorporate it better and have it more in our sexual life so we can do this. She can
Yeah.
enjoy this.
And you know what? And how many men in a heterosexual relationship are the kind of people who would say, oh, you're into this thing and it's something that I've never considered before and it might make me uncomfortable. Let me learn about it and let me try. A plus. A lot of guys would just be like, "You know, that's weird. No, I'm not doing that." And they would never try. That's the thing is you're never going to know until you try. You want to maybe if you are super nervous, like do some meditation beforehand. I don't want to encourage anybody to imbibe as a way of relaxing before having sex, but if you want to have a drink just to kind of chill out, maybe like take some time, get the lighting right, have a good time. Just ease yourself into it. Don't make it like about the belly button. Just like the belly buttons.
Totally.
You're like
And don't treat it like a taboo, you know?
you got some hands, got some lips, got like an ear, shoulder, nipple, belly button, back to nipple. See, you just kind of mess around a little bit, like that episode of Friends.
Tell me more. I'm
Oh,
lost.
when Monica's like, see the erotic zones of a woman, you think it's 1, 2, 3.
Seven.
7, 7, 7.
I love that part. And there's a moment when Rachel is like, "Oh, you can enjoy that sometimes upside down." I love it. And you're talking about feet, and she's like, "Oh yeah, some people enjoy that," and she's like, "Some people."
Just it's a scene that stayed with me my whole life. So
It developed things in us, you know.
yeah, but I think that was one of the first times that like it planted that seed of like there's no weird, because I don't think I've ever been the kind of person who thought like, oh, certain kinds of sex are weird and certain, I'd hear, somebody's into something and I'm like, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I did when I was younger, just because I grew up in a very religious household, in
Mm,
like very secretive household. Like we didn't talk about a lot of things.
yeah.
But then again, as I always say, when you're a grown up, when you're an adult, you take responsibility and you want to be a better person. So I started reading. I started searching and investigating and doing a lot of studying about things, and I realized that
Hmm.
everything is okay. If the
Yeah.
other person has your consent and they're enjoying everything, go
Yeah.
ahead and do it. So
Yeah.
going back, because we digress, Josh, how can you like make it fun, like incorporate it better, right, into
Yeah.
relationship? I will say people don't think about this a lot, or sometimes they think about it, but they think that there's a lot of work because maybe you have to like wash the
Yeah.
sheets after that or stuff. But actually incorporate food into it. Like you can do whipped cream or chocolate, or even like
A
lube
peanut
with,
butter.
yeah, lube with flavors that you can actually eat. Those things are cool, you know. And you can even try to like, I'm not telling you to do this, I'm just thinking because I don't have this type of likes in my life. You can even
Hmm.
do like sort of like a foreplay ish with it, and at some
Yeah.
point if you want to stick something in it but not all the way, but just like play with it, you can do that.
Hey.
You can do that, why
Yeah.
not, you
Why
know?
not? That specifically reminded me of the first time I ever went to a sex store.
Mm.
And it's this like really like it's huge. It's called Castle something, and it's built to look like a castle on the outside, and it's huge and it's really nice in Arizona. And this lady walks up, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and she's like, look, here's our wall of lubes, and she's like giving us taste tests of lubes, right?
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and I was like, why are they flavored? Like, and she's like, fun fact, because then the guy I was with, because we were with like a group of work associates, he goes, it's so when you suck our dick, it tastes good. And I was like, why would you need lube to suck I was confused. And the lady who was helping us goes, actually, it's because guys have a tendency of finishing first, so the flavored lube makes her taste better so that you can go down and eat her out afterwards.
And that's in period. That was a great comeback. We need her.
Oh yeah, she was doing the Lord's work.
He's like, when you suck our dick, uh, you definitely can eat pussy and have the flavor. Like, what the heck?
I don't know. He wasn't pulling many chicks.
We can see why.
Hmm. Josh, I say one, try to not think about it. It feels like you're maybe overthinking. Just let go and let God, you know? just just go with the flow. Talk to your girlfriend if what's going on isn't enough or it's weirding you out, also communicate. Always
Of course.
communicate.
Definitely.
Always.
Even if it is difficult, because I know for some people, talking, communicating, expressing themselves is like super difficult. So, yes, Josh, you can do this. It's a normal thing. Like, if, yeah,
Hmm.
again, I think it's her fetish, but it can be yours too. And if you actually don't feel it
Yeah.
at all, that I think we do, because the way that the email was written, we think that you feel it too.
I think you might be
Um,
into it.
yeah, go ahead and enjoy. Do your
Yeah.
thing. Attaboy. Go ahead.
Here's the other thing. Kinks require consent. So trying to I don't know, trying to like manipulate somebody into participating in your kink, probably not super cool.
You mean the way he worded the email?
Mhm. Perhaps
Yeah.
that was a bit on the manipulative side. Not
It's
great,
not.
not
It's not
quite the
gonna happen,
best.
Josh. It's not gonna happen.
And because we love all of our sinners here, we feel as deep and very close friends to all of you. We feel it's necessary to, if you're doing something that's not okay, maybe just like let you know, like we're not mad at you. We just figured you should probably know there are people out there who love the same kink as you. There's websites to find them. You don't have to go around being manipulative about it to try and get other people to participate in your kink
Yeah.
without their consent or knowledge.
Josh, if you have any other stories, if you have any friends, if you want to tell us a little bit more, that is not a request for us to show you things. Go ahead.
Or talk about them.
Yeah, go ahead and send them
We
your
need
way.
vivid descriptions. It's not
No,
necessary.
go ahead and send it our way. We love it, and we're here to normalize things. And this is a great. I never thought
Mhm.
about a belly button type of fetish. So you just open in our horizons in so many ways. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Write again, tell your friends. And really, you were the first email that we got. So We love it. Thank you.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. So this is the second story for this episode. It's a
Doozy.
controversial one.
Ooh, it is.
Go ahead,
The
Rashad.
So this was found on the subreddit Shit Mom Groups Say. I did not think that I would find something for this segment on Shit Mom Groups.
But she did. She freaking did.
Somebody said this shit in a mom group, and then somebody else did us all a favor and screenshotted it. And I imagine she sounds like, question for the kink community.
Stop.
I will stop. I'm so sorry. Question for the kink community. What is your line with displaying your kink in front of your children? Backstory. I'm not kinky at all. I'm a, quote, if it's consensual and hurts no one, you do you. I've always been under the impression that most people, more or less, quote unquote, keep it in the bedroom. Please excuse me, because I know nothing about the world and I am trying to use correct terms and whatnot. I have a friend of a friend who is into what I think is called daddy and little. You're right, that is what it's called. Basically, yeah. Basically, she's submissive and likes to be beat up during sex. That's not quite right. Okay.
I mean, maybe she likes that, but that is not the actual.
Yeah, that's not
daddy and little
indicative of daddy little.
exactly.
That might be something
Exactly.
separate.
It could be, but it's not the actual thing.
Yeah, it's like a comorbidity. Okay. Basically, she's submissive and likes to be beat up during sex. He makes the decisions in their relationship, etc. So it sounds more
He's
like a
like
master.
an actual dominant. Yeah, he's like exactly like a master, like a sir, like a dominant type of relationship
Yeah,
person.
and she's almost like a pet type. I don't know. Okay. Anyways,
yeah, keep reading so we can.
They met on a kink site. He is significantly older than her. She also has ADHD. I don't know what that has to do with anything. They have a son. Rude.
See, gang.
ADHD. They have a son that is almost 3. So here's the question. I don't think they do sexual things in front of their son, but they do display their dynamic in front of him. He isn't allowed to call dad daddy or anything like that because it's a part of their kink. She will clean the kitchen with a collar on. Mom doesn't get a say in family decisions. My understanding is that without their kink, this relationship doesn't exist. Is this a normal thing in the kink community for your kids to be around that? Is it healthy for your children to see their mother treated like that? It just makes me feel weird, and I'm trying to sort out my feelings, and I'm looking for some perspective. Hope that's not offensive. Thanks.
Okay. First, she said something very interesting. I don't know if they have a relationship outside of this kink. That is not your problem.
Yeah.
First, just say it right there. That is not your problem at all.
Let's break this down first. He isn't allowed to call dad daddy or anything like that because it's a part of their kink. Stupid.
That's
I hate it.
insane to me.
I hate this line that they have drawn in the book Praise. They talk about how like they set boundaries of when they are doing a scene. Kink should have boundaries. When you're doing a scene, when you're playing it out, it should be in an appropriate time and place. 24/7. If that's what you want, that's fine. Probably shouldn't have a kid there though. No. Your 3-year-old can't say daddy?
That is my conclusion to all of this. Like, I know people like this. I actually know that they live in a kink community 24/7, 365 days a year. Like, they're just that. And I love that for them. But you know what? They have decided to not form families with kids. They're polyamorous, they have communities, but they decided not to have kids because they know that that will disrupt this dynamic.
Yeah, that was their priority. Their priority was their kink. And it seems here,
Exactly.
so when you become a parent, and this is not a parenting podcast, but as a parent.
But we love the fact that we have your POV.
As a parent, and as somebody who has had parents, Your children become the priority when they are born, specifically because they did not ask to be there.
That's a fact.
Whether it was an accident or on purpose, planned or surprise, it doesn't matter. That child deserves to have a childhood. If you can't give that to them, that's cool. Adoption exists. But you still, as a parent, owe that to your child. This person this friend of a friend of the person who wrote this, is clearly prioritizing their kink lifestyle over the well-being of their child. Because they're also, if we go on to the next thing, she will clean the kitchen with a collar on. Mom doesn't get a say in family decisions.
The
Your
color,
son isn't gonna
the color is a problem. No, like,
maybe get her a nice choker from Tiffany's. You guys are adults. You can assign meaning to whatever you want. Why does it have to be a collar?
of course, we don't know how the color looks. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we are assuming that it looks like, it's like a leather type of thing. It's very
I
kinky. Maybe
mean,
not,
it sounds like that's the kind of thing that they're into though.
but
So,
maybe it doesn't look like that, and the kid actually thinks that it's like a necklace. Okay,
yeah.
but if it doesn't, and the kid actually knows kind of like what it is, that is effed up. Like, no.
Yeah. The next thing is mom doesn't get a say in family decisions. Your child doesn't understand that what's happening is a kink dynamic. What you're raising them in is what they're going to think is normal and okay. And that means that you're raising your child to think that women don't have a say and that women are less than and that men are essentially own them, okay? And that women aren't treated with respect. Because
Imagine
children can't
how.
understand the dynamic that in the kink community, I'm so sorry, Susie. In
No,
the
no, no.
kink community, when people consensually enter into a kink, even a sub-dom relationship, even a masochistic, sadistic relationship, even one where there is a power imbalance, both parties they both have the same amount of power, respect, authority in the situation because that sub is freely giving over her power and she has the right to rescind it at any time. That's not something that you can explain or portray to a child. So
Yep.
acting these ways in front of them, they're not going to understand the nuance.
Kinks are for people that can understand them.
Mm.
You honestly, and I say this here because it is what it is. You can be 16 and be kinky already. And I say this because it is. It is what it is. Like me as a kinky person, I actually like acknowledged my first kink without knowing it was a kink when I was like 15. You know
Ooh.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can be of an age, like early age,
Mhm.
and you can be kinky without you knowing it. But at least
Mhm.
you kind of have a mind that will comprehend things. A 3 year
Mhm.
old, you cannot explain kinks to a 3 year old. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, all they're seeing is, this is daddy and this is mommy. This is how the house works. This is how everybody's house works.
In my mind, the only thing that I'm thinking like constantly when you read this to me the first time was,
Yeah.
this kid is watching his dad treat his mom like shit, like actual caca, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like, what example are you setting for this kid? Like, he's gonna be
No.
a piece of caca himself too, because that's
Mhm.
why he's watching at home, right, and learning. And he's only 3 years old. Like, I'm in a kinky community. I love kinks. I am a kinky woman. I always say that, and I love it, and I'm very proud of that. But I understand that
Mhm.
that comes with responsibilities, and I understand that not everyone can understand that. I don't think they get
Mhm. No, and the other thing is like I view the kink community as a largely feminist community
that.
because it's about, equality
Sexual
and
liberation.
yeah, it's exactly. Let's say best case scenario, this couple do identify as feminists and they're just really into their kink and they want to play this scene 24/7 and they're not thinking about how it's affecting their child. But they really do believe in equality and a woman's right to choose and, you know, sexual liberation and things like that that come along with being a feminist, right? An egalitarian. You're raising a child who will be none of those things because they don't understand. And it's sad because you can't even like intervene in that situation. Like how do you, you know?
You can't. And we, of course, like we only get the perspective of the person that is sharing the story. We don't know. We probably don't know. And she's probably enjoying like the woman in the relationship. She's probably enjoying all of this and she loves it. And she probably loves the fact that he maybe treat her like garbage. Like
Yeah.
garbage. And it's
Yeah.
okay. We love that for you. That's your kink. But the problem is not her. It's not the relationship. It's not the dynamic. The problem is they have a kid and they don't understand
Mhm.
that those dynamics cannot be public that way. Again, if you don't have kids, you can go on the streets and walk like a dog if you want. Heck freaking yes. Heck freaking yes. But if you have a kid, you cannot they shouldn't they can, of course they can, but they shouldn't see those things because kids don't comprehend. And if you don't have the brain
Mhm.
and the capabilities to understand things, you cannot see them because you cannot explain that. It's a whole thing. And just read
Yeah.
psychology books for kids. That's it. The brain is not
Yeah.
developed. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's precisely why the age of consent is not 10 or 5
Yeah.
because they cannot understand the nuance and the intricacies of agreements like that.
What were the questions at the end?
Is this a normal thing in the kink community? No.
What? No, wait. What?
Oh, doing this around the children and 24/7.
No.
Mm-mm,
Immediately no.
no. Is it healthy for children to see their mother treated like that? I feel like that you already know the answer to that question.
No.
No. So, yeah, no, you're right to be uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I have no idea how you can intervene because you can't go to CPS and be like, he's an asshole to his wife in front of her. Now, for those of you who want to get more involved in your kink, but you've got kids, or you've just discovered kink, but you got kids, we have some ideas for you. Okay?
We do?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'm like,
we do. Susie and I discussed this earlier. It was a joint. She does a lot of the other work, so you know this is the least I
I'm
could
conf-
do. Assign meanings to innocuous things. One, right? We talked about with the collar. It doesn't have to be a collar. It can be a necklace, and
yeah.
she knows, right? Here's another idea that we have that not we. Here's another idea that I have heard before. Um, if you're into more of a free use situation, right? Like here's a common kink is free use. So like you live together or you spend time together and whenever you're together, whatever you're doing, one person is allowed to do whatever they want to the other person and they just essentially keep working pretty much, right? They keep doing whatever, like keep cleaning the kitchen, cool, keep cleaning that kitchen, whatever. You can modify so instead of saying, "Oh, it's free use," so like if you're in the kitchen, you stay in the kitchen, I do whatever. Let's say it's a husband-wife scenario because that's most common. Um the wife decides, "Oh, I'm in the mood for this kind of scene play," right? You have a specific scrunchie. Put it on your wrist. Like, "Oh, whenever I'm," and you tell them, "Whenever I'm wearing this scrunchie or this bracelet, you can like it's go time," right? And then if they see it and they're also in the mood, they can say, I need you to go clean the bedroom or I need you to go do something. And you take yourself out of the situation. And then you also modify what behavior you display depending on how old your kids are, where they're at, whether they're awake or asleep. People feel like, oh, I have kids. I can't be kinky anymore. That's not true. You can be
Well,
kinky and be a parent.
no. You don't have to
You don't
be boring. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to wait until they're old enough to go to sleepovers and then carefully coordinate all the children to be at different sleepovers on the same night. You don't have to wait that long. You don't. You
you
can
know what's crazy? Now that you say that, that's what we always see in like on Hollywood movies and like shows. That's
Mhm.
depressing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got both the kids are going to a sleepover tonight, so we have the house all to ourselves. Oh yeah, trust me, it's more fun when you have the whole house to yourself because then you don't have to worry about being too loud. But other than that, But other than that, like, there's ways to work around it. There's ways to modify it. The problem that this couple is having is that they're not using their adult brains. They're not like, you're acting as if you cannot use your critical thinking skills.
I think they're acting like they don't have a kid.
It's frustrating. Like, you can just understand that, like, maybe not here. Because you're not going to do it at work, right? You're capable of not doing this in a way at some point, right? It's not that you're incapable. It's not a compulsion. It's not an obsession. It's a choice you make. Make better choices.
Period. I think, yeah, I don't have kids, but
What?
I have a life, you know. I do have, sorry, I do have a kid. I'm so sorry.
Roro
I
was so
do.
upset.
I do have 2 kids. I have 2 kids. I will not say that again. I promise you. I love you so much. I have 2 kids, but I don't have like human kids. You see, I don't have human kids, but I have a life, you know. And as you said, like, you don't do that at work. And even if you do, because you guys work together or you like are freelancers together and stuff, you can have the same, you know, methods, systems.
Yeah.
You can have signals, that's the word. You can have
Yeah.
signals. So you guys signal each other, you know? And
Yeah.
it can be a text message, it can be an emoji. Like with my friends, this is not kinky at all, but with my friends, we have like emergency emojis. Like if I send a flamingo, they know it's an emergency. They either need to call me or something is happening. My other friend has like a disco ball type of thing, and it's just we know our codes, right? You can have those type of codes.
Mhm.
I have a friend that she has a tattoo, and she's like, it's something like an L and an R, and then she says R when she's like super horny, and L is like he says R on his tattoo because they work together, and she's like L, like no, actually no.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Like there's so many ways, you know, to signal each other. So yes, there's so many, so many ways to actually have like set up the systems. But again, they all require one thing, communication. All of them, all of them.
Mhm.
So just talk about it, you know, and make it a fun talk. And if you can't because your partner is not respecting you enough, maybe you should consider another partner. Just saying.
Just leave your partner.
I
Why would
mean, it
you
is what it
why would you
is.
want to be with somebody like that?
Like,
Make it make sense.
like bombastic side eye, you know?
Listen, we're not judging you. We're
We are.
just it's my judging face.
You just, you know the TikTok filter is like the crying one? You just did that face. Literally. My point on all of this is be as kinky as you want, and if you want to be kinky 24/7 365, don't have kids. And if you do already, you need to adjust your life.
If you want to be kinky all the time and you already have kids, too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. Just
You made that
adjust your
choice.
life.
You made the choice to have a child. It
Yeah.
happened. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you. But here's the thing. I'm not sorry because I'm also in the same boat. I got to reel it in too. I make it work. Okay.
She
It's
gets
called
it.
being an
She gets it.
adult.
Yeah, she gets it, and she makes it work. And that's the thing. Like, if she can make it work, and a lot of people can make it work, you can make it work too. Like, just
Yeah.
think as a parent a little bit more, not as a selfish person. Because if you want to be a selfish person, be like me. I made the decision of not having kids, and here I am today.
I think the final point that we can get from both of these, not that we did it on purpose, but they both have a running theme, and that is all parties must be consenting. And unfortunately, in the first one, we may not have had such a super consenting party. Like there was a little bit of wool pulled over our eyes situation, maybe trying to go on. Not the coolest. And the second one, you're inadvertently making that child a part of your scene, and that's not okay. And because that child can't
Honestly,
consent to it,
if you think about it, that's creepy as hell.
it's creepy as fuck. Don't do that.
Like, like
Mm-mm.
sorry, but anything childlike on the kinky community is not kinky. That's another
No.
type of thing. Because
And the
kinks
kink
are
community
for
doesn't believe in
adults.
that. Yeah. And the kink community,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of people in the kink community. They have really tight knit communities, like local communities and online communities. And I can promise you, if you are new to kink or if you have a weird understanding of what the kink community is like, usually you're wrong.
I love that you said that because most of the time when we think about kinks, because of Hollywood and like, Americanized, like this type of media in general, they always gave us kinks as something that bad people do, like sick people. You know what I mean? Like sick
Mm-hmm.
people.
Weirdos.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is not the case. That is
Mm-mm.
absolutely not true. Kink people, most of the time before, they had to be secretive because they didn't have the community to be open. And if they
Mm-hmm.
said something, they would have been judged. And probably they would have lost their jobs and stuff like that because it is what it is. And we live in a society that is shitty as fuck. But it's a little bit more open now, right? And we have podcasts about it, and we have people that have like actual brands about sex and toys and stuff like that. All of this to say, if you are this couple, if you're kinky and you're pregnant, or if you're kinky and you're thinking about having kids, there's so many ways you can have still a kinky relationship and
Mm-hmm.
dynamic with your partners or partners. Just be on the groups. There's Facebook, there's Reddit, there's
There's
Instagrams, there's
whole website.
podcasts.
There's whole
Yeah.
websites dedicated. There's FetLife, SDC. There's one that's like they can match you up kink for kink, which is pretty cool.
You
Um,
mean Pure?
I don't know, maybe. I
I think
don't
it's
I don't
Pure,
use dating apps, so I just
but
no
she knows
need.
a lot
So
about them. Damn.
I've done my research.
But yes, there's so many like resources out there. So honestly, just
Mhm.
do your freaking work. What
Yeah.
was King Cases? Nobody it seems like they want to work nowadays. So just get up and work.
Yes, Kim. Yes, Kim. Also, yeah, meet people in the kink community and get to know them and ask them questions. Most people in the kink community are like, "Oh, do you have questions? Let me tell you." They don't mind.
Yeah,
We're, we
totally.
don't we don't bite unless you ask.
So yes, that was hashtag Dear Sinners.
Yeah.
We did it. I love it. Send us your stories. We want to read them. This is part of the podcast. Like, come with us has so many meanings. Like, come with us and come with us and like go with us. All of that.
Come with
So
us.
yeah. So yeah, send us your stories. And this segment, we're gonna be sharing a little bit more like personal stuff
Mhm.
until we just get super big that we need to make a Patreon because we want to share so many more personal, like more intimate
Mm.
stuff, and we can't
Oh
here
yeah.
because there's too much. But we can do it over there. It's gonna happen at some
Mhm.
point. We promise you. Or maybe it's gonna be an
Someday.
OnlyFans. We'll see. So yes, how can you send us your stories? How can we know about you? So if you go to www.comewithuspod.com, that's our website, you're going to see like a few things there, and one of them says free nudes. They're not nudes,
They're
but
not
we love the
nudes.
name. But we love the name. So there you can submit the story, or if you don't want to click on that because you don't want to be like such a sinner, you don't want to feel guilty, you don't want to see us naked, you can go to the bottom of the website and there's something that says submit your story, and there you go. Just go ahead, send whatever you want. We're so ready to hear from you. Like really, we want to hear your stories and we're ready for them, whatever they are. Please don't send anything like creepy. Like every kink has their limits. Don't send creepy shit.
Here's our hard limits. Our hard limits are no photos, please.
Yeah, please, thank you.
No threats. Don't threaten us.
Yeah. And honestly, okay, so this is like more into it. I'm okay with golden showers. Nothing scat play. Nothing like that. I can read about them, but nothing else besides.
Oh, I thought you were just like a fun fact about me.
No, that's not what I want. I am not into scat play at all. That's me.
Mm.
I'm okay reading about golden showers. Anything else, please don't. If you're okay reading about
No.
something else, Rashay, go ahead and say, just put Rashay in parentheses. You can say scat play, and we know that it can go for
You're
you.
gonna make me read the poop stories?
I mean, if you want to read them, you can say no, and they know that they
I
can't.
won't listen. I won't yuck your yum. I just possibly will not be ever trying it.
Yes. if you send stories and we don't read them here, maybe it is because we just don't feel comfortable talking about it, or we
maybe
just
we
didn't
just
see your
got too
email.
many.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we just got too many.
Maybe
Got
we just
lost
didn't
in
see
the
your email,
sauce.
and that's okay too. And you can send it again, or you can send it with a maybe more enticing title, and we're gonna be like, we need to read this. So yes, sinners, we did it again. Another segment. Who are we? Like, the ADHD is not winning. Look at us. Look at us.
Are you sure? Because we had a podcast already and now we're starting a podcast within the podcast. So it sounds like the ADHD is definitely ADHDing.
Okay. It is, but in a good way though. Because my
In a
ADHD before would be like 10 episodes of a podcast. Who are you?
too
Like, we did
many.
it. We freaking
Time to move
did
on
it.
to woodworking.
Let me tell you, within these 10 weeks of us creating this podcast, like the podcast actually being out, I had so many ideas. I'm like, stop. You have a podcast, project.
You really
Stop.
did keep texting me. You're like, what if we had a chat function and you could chat with fake characters? And I'm like,
No.
honey,
By the way, we love this. We love that.
we love it, but it's too much right now.
But you know what? I'm proud of me because either way, we're here doing this every week.
Absolutely. This is the only thing that I haven't quit.
Is it no to spicy, type of brain. Again, I'm so proud of us because we're here. This is week 11 or 12 of the podcast, and look at us winning. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. Hashtag Dear Sinners, episode 1. We freaking did it. Thank you, sinners. Send us your stories. And you have stories. They don't have to be spicy. They can be funny. They can be something that happened to your sister or to you or whatever. It doesn't matter. It can be a family feud type of thing. I love chisme. I love chisme. You don't understand the amount of love that I have for chisme. So.
Oh, is this Gossip Corner?
Stop. Yes.
Please gossip with us.
XOXO, Gossip Girl. Yes. I love you, sinners. You're the best. We don't have an outro for this yet because we're very unprepared. It's the ADHD. ADHD.
Try one new thing this week.
I love that. Stop. That could be the outro. I freaking love it. Try something new and talk to us about it. Why not?
Yeah, tell us what you're trying. I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
Us on all of our social medias. We are as at Come With Us Pod. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can follow me on TikTok as at amsusinunez1111 and on Instagram as at amsusinunez. And you, Rashay?
You can find me on Instagram at Rashay_Reads and on TikTok at Charlotte Rivers, the number 4.
Follow this podcast, rate it 5 stars. If you like it and you do, hello. And just share it everywhere because we're freaking cool and you know it, and we want to be your friend. Actually, no, we don't want to be. We are friends already. So do the thing because friends support friends.
Support
we
friends.
Love you.
Stop. Why do we do this so
We're
often?
witching. We're witching so hard. I love it. Okay, love you, sinner. Bye.
Bye. If you have questions for us or just something you would like to share, please go to our website and submit your story. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us via email and let us know.